Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Chatting with Charities. This is actually our last episode of Chatting with Charities. Next week, we will have Chatting with Charities on, but it's going to include a special announcement. So make sure that you keep your eye out for that and see what that's all about. This morning, I have with me Ash Green and JulieAnne Gauthier, and they are from Empower PEI. And they're going to tell us a little bit about their organization and what they do. So thank you, girls, for joining me this morning.
This afternoon.
This afternoon, so
For us.
whatever time it is. Thanks for joining me.
No, we're really happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad that you could make it. So do you guys want to tell us a little bit about what it is that you do?
For sure. So Empower PEI is essentially a Facebook group, but we're a nonprofit and our community is based on Facebook. It's a community of about 1,300 business owners at this point, which is just wild, seeing as when we started, it was like 75 local business owners. But it's basically support at this point. We have a very diverse group of business owners, and you see all kinds of things being posted in there. But this past summer, we became a nonprofit, and so we're looking to offer like a bit more of a web presence for PEI businesses and potentially some like grants and whatnot in the future, more events. We've done events like a day of learning in the past where we get local professionals to teach local professionals skills such as like social media or bookkeeping and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a very cool little community.
I have to agree. And I have been part of the community for maybe since the start. I don't know, but
you were very early. Yeah,
I was in there early. It's been amazing watching it grow. I have to say that it was very helpful during the lockdown, very supportive, and it was nice to get on there and just, see what everyone else was going through, and there's a lot of support in there. You can go on the page and ask a question and get lots of answers, or if somebody's struggling with something, they make a post and everyone jumps on and lends their support. So it's amazing what it's grown into. I'm quite impressed, and really happy that it's continuing to grow and offering even more to the business population. So kudos to you guys for doing that.
well, thank you. I think like what we love about it and what we've heard other people say they love about it is that it's not just business people asking for business advice. It's a place you can go to be vulnerable and hear that you're not alone. And at the beginning of the pandemic, it was really good to hear that you weren't alone in your fears, right? So it was nice to get people together, and JulieAnne facilitated some really awesome discussions. And I felt like we weren't supporting people. Everyone was supporting each other. I think it was like a true embodiment of community over competition and like that whole mindset. I think that it was like a very supportive space for sure during that time.
Yeah, and I'm also recognizing that it's a really good place for new business owners or for people who are new to PEI to come on there, and I think they're finding it really valuable to find business advice, but just to find common ground with others in the business community.
Yeah, definitely like part of our mandate. Yeah.
And learning from the locals, right? Like there's a lot of us who have been here for a long time, but a lot of people who have left and come back, and people who are brand new to the island. And one of the things we really like to emphasize as part of Empower PEI is that we are all about inclusivity and diversity as well, because that was really a big part of what Ash started all of this from, is that there's a lot out there on PEI already through a lot of different programs and companies, but there's always people who fall through the cracks. And so we're trying to be that net that catches them at the bottom and rise them up, right? And empower people and make sure that there's nobody who's left behind. They have the support, guidance. Eventually, we want to get to the point where we can contribute financially through micro grants and different things like that too. So that there's nobody not able to succeed simply because they don't fit a certain box from an existing program. And we take so much pride in that. And we really try to make that easy for everyone as well. And in a space that people aren't scared to say, I need help.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that you even changed the name so that it wasn't just for females, that it was for all genders.
Exactly. So like a year and a half ago, I guess it would be now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Time flies. We switched it from Girl Bosses of PEI to Empower PEI. I'm a member of the LGBTQIA community, and so I was recognizing that it wasn't the most inclusive space for other folks that are a part of the community. And there's many people who would feel the same. And so we try to emphasize that it's also a safe place for the BIPOC community, the Two-Spirit LGBTQIA community, and anyone else who feels like it is the most comfortable place for them to come and ask for help.
Yeah, yeah, and I really like that as well. So if people were to donate funds to you, what exactly, and I know that you touched on a few of them, but maybe you can elaborate a little bit on what you would actually do with those funds that you receive.
Right now, our big plan is a website.
Nice.
Yes. It's been a long time in the making, but like we've been going through the process of getting local quotes and figuring out what we are even able to do, how much money it looks like we'll need for something like that. It's a big undertaking, and especially making sure that we're creating something that is truly useful for the community. So yeah, that'll be our first big investment is a web presence for Empower PEI. And then from there, like JulieAnne said, we're hoping to do some micro grants, hopefully like a few $500 ones in the next year or so. Maybe sooner. We're hoping for sooner. Everything is we have big goals. But yeah, and then we do, like we have done in the past, the Empower Day of Learning. COVID kind of put a wrench in last year's, but hopefully we'll get back to it really soon. But yeah, events like that requires some funds as well. So we'll be looking to use some of it for that, as well as just like monthly get-togethers. We call them kind of like anti-mixers. So it's not your like typical networking. We've done ones that are specifically for entrepreneurs that struggle with anxiety and stuff like that. So allowing us to kind of do some of those unconventional events and meetings. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. And so I guess my next question would be, so if people were wanting to give you money, that would be lovely, right?
Yeah.
How do they go about doing that?
We literally just set up an e-transfer. It's been a slow grow here. And I think we said it was finance@empowerpei.ca. People can send e-transfers there until we get the website up and going.
Okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, I mean, and that's like just to send money along, but we're also getting back into hosting smaller events that, fit within our COVID parameters right now. So we did have one last month, and we're going to have one in just, I know this is coming out later, but we have them, we're trying them monthly. We'll probably take a little break over the summer, but then get back into them in the fall as well. So if you are a business owner or you work in an organization and you like to come out, we'll have different guest speakers too. So a part of every ticket sale goes towards the fundraising as well. So that's another way if you want to be a little more social and get out, then that's a great way to do it too.
We're trying to make sure that we're supporting the venue, obviously, and the speaker as well. And then the rest goes to fundraising.
Okay. Awesome.
We have a really great team, we'll mention as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of events.
Yeah, it's not just us two. It's not just us.
Tell us about your team. Who else is on your team?
Yeah, so we have, so Ash kind of kicked us off, and then myself and Savannah Belcher-McLean joined on shortly thereafter. And it was the three of us for a while that we went through the accelerator program at Startup Zone last summer to get us into the nonprofit status, got all that set up. and then recognized we needed some more hands and some more brains. So Ellen Velez and Emily Gallant both joined us as well. So we are the 5 board members now. And then we also have Sarah Roach Lewis and Robin Gallant who are helping us on committees and in advisory capacities. And there will be many opportunities for other folks to volunteer in lots of different capacities, whether it's marketing, events, membership recruitment, lots. So we will be putting different calls out for volunteers at times too. So if people are not able to contribute in a financial capacity, then perhaps they could do so in their time as well, which is also very much appreciated.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
If anyone's listening and they would like to reach out, board@empowerpei.ca would get all of us in one email if they wanted to reach out.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So that's a way that that people can support you, not monetarily. Also, I guess maybe if this is the first time that people are hearing about you, because that could be a thing as well. I know you have a lot of members, but maybe people haven't heard. So they could possibly, if they're entrepreneurs or if they plan to be entrepreneurs, they can look you up on Facebook and join your Facebook group.
Yeah. Empower PEI Community is the actual Facebook group. Yeah.
Okay. And we'll put the links to all of your social media too whenever we post this video so that people can find you. And so another way to support you could be, maybe to share your events or anything that you may post. They may share that so that people can, get the word out and find out more about you guys. So, so that's another way as well. Okay. Well, I think that's all my questions. Is there anything else that you guys would like to add to this?
I guess just that, like, if anyone wants to join the group, it's really welcoming. Some of the stuff that you can expect to see in there is like you get to see like the real humans behind the businesses as opposed to just being business talk. If you're looking for recommendations or personal advice, or even if you just need a reminder to take a time out and appreciate the day, that's all there. It's a really supportive community. So we would love to have anyone that's interested.
Yeah, we're very unique in the sense too that coming into our group, you're not just simply going to be bombarded by sales from all the other folks in there. We're actually very strict within our group and ensure that it's adding value and not just another Facebook group. So there's been a lot of time and effort put into the back end of that. There are times and places that you can certainly market yourself. But for the most part, it's just knowing you're not alone and knowing that you have a place. If you don't have someone that you can just pick up the phone and call, you can put it in the group. And like Carol said earlier, you're going to get a ton of different answers, thoughts, feedback, support. It's just warms our hearts when we see all that conversation going on in there.
Yeah, we get to see so many like online relationships and conversations turn into like real life partnerships and job opportunities. Like a little overwhelming sometimes. It's super cool.
Another thing too that I've noticed that it might be useful for, I know a lot of people really struggle with networking. And I feel like this is kind of it's a really good way to ease into networking, because if you're in the group and you form relationships or connections with people that are in the group, and then if you go to an event that's put on by the group, you're probably going to recognize a lot of the people that are there because you make connections with them in the group. So if you're new to networking or if you're nervous networking, this is a really good place to start. And you can build those connections that you can, build upon when you meet these people in real life. So I would highly suggest that to anyone that's new to networking. And I've seen so many really good connections if people are looking for work or if people are looking for employees, then this is kind of the place to go. So it has so many really great uses. And that's why I was really keen on having you guys do this with me, because I think it's really valuable to the community. And I think that people will get a lot out of it. So
we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks so much, Carol.
So I think that's it for now. But like I said, we'll be posting all of your links, your social media links. So we hope that people will be able to find you. And for all those listening, thank you for listening to all of my Chatting with Charities. And I really appreciate your attention and your feedback. And like I said, be sure to tune in next week because there's something special going to be happening and you're not going to want to miss it. So, so I will see you next week again. And I will see you girls, hopefully sometime soon in real life. But if not, then I'll see you on Empower PEI.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, Carol.
Thank you.
Thank you.